and welcome to sallyhughesbeauty.com. I'm really chuffed you've logged on. Today's video is the first in a series where I basically just go around my mates' houses and look in their bathrooms and chat to them about beauty. I'm so chuffed that my first guest is my friend Moran, who I think, apart from the fact that everybody knows she's written 2 best-selling books and is an extremely prominent columnist on the Times, but what you may not know about Caitlin is that she also loves makeup and various other beauty products, so I really want to talk to her about that. Hello!
Hi! Should we talk about beauty?
Yeah, maybe you could do that pose where you get both your bum and your tits, and your face in the same... Yes.
Hi! I love us casually hanging here in my shitter. Thanks for coming over. Sally's brought booze. This is fantastic.
I'm thrilled to be here. You love beauty, don't you?
Yes. To a certain... I mean, basically I love my beauty.
Yeah.
I love the idea of, like, experimenting with loads of expensive things and having an amazing... When you go and get your hair done and your makeup done when you're doing TV or on a photo shoot, they basically open up this massive wardrobe chest and they can kind of run their finger along it like a Farrow ball colour palette, and they're kind of like, and this is what we'll do for you, and they paint it all on. I love the idea of being into makeup to that extent.
Yeah.
But what I found out when I was 17 is that there's one lot of makeup that suits my face, and with very little exception, that is what I've worn from the age of 17 to now 37.
So you're not an experimenter, you know what you do and you do it.
I've experimented, but it just always goes wrong. I mean, there are pictures of me wearing lipstick looking like a really cheap prostitute.
You never wear lipstick, and all the time I've known you, I've never seen you wear lipstick. You've just ruled that out.
Well, first of all, I think my mouth moves in a funny way and I tend to eat it off quite quickly. And secondly, I like a big eye. And you can't really have a big eye and a big mouth, no. I've heard. So so I just go eye.
RuPaul, if you do both.
I go very RuPaul. We did a photo shoot for the Times once where they got me to dress up for Christmas in a kind of bodycon dress, and they put my hair up and they did a very red lip, and I did just look like someone who just turned up on the set of EastEnders as kind of like, oh, she's got a trashy and trampy past. Yeah. I looked about 57.
Yeah.
I looked like I'd maybe once stolen a yacht and sold it to a foreign country, which is not, I like that look, but it's just not quite what I had been doing at that time.
Yes, absolutely. So how does this sort of compute with, I think lots of people will be surprised that you're into beauty, or that you enjoy beauty anyway, because of your feminist ideals and how much you write about feminism, and obviously your book.
Yeah.
I mean, to me they're entirely complementary, but can you explain your relationship with that?
I literally don't even begin to understand what the basis of an argument is that women can't change the way that they look.
Absolutely.
That you can't, because on that basis, then women wouldn't be able to like dress up on Halloween or go to fancy dress parties. Like, of course, you should be, allowed to change your appearance. That's just nuts. Basically, my rule in life is with almost everything that if David Bowie can do it, we can do it. And yes. David Bowie wore an enormous amount of makeup, and therefore so can I. And I quite like the fact that of all the things that my makeup makes me look like, to me, it makes me look like a puffin. And it's just kind of a large nose and a lot of black eyeliner, and to me I dress up not as a woman whenever I go out, but a lovely puffin.
And that's feminism.
Yes, exactly, yes. I'm not dressing up to be sexually available, I'm dressing up to shuffle my tiny puffin egg onto the edge of a cliff, and that's the purpose of makeup for me.
But that's freedom, surely, kind of deciding, being that creative with the way you look and deciding who you're going to be that day. That's powerful, I think. That's a real sense of freedom.
Yeah, but it's just mucking about. It's just playing a game like anything else. I mean, the thing that I understand about kind of like feminists arguing against it is just this idea that you have to do it. It's if the idea is that when you read those things where sort of like, you get a whole bunch of women, they're all going, I would never leave the house without makeup on, then that makes me a bit sad and worried, because like, never?
But to me, those women are so rare.
Yes.
Like, how many of those women do you know? Like, people ask me all the time, oh, could you freak out when you're not wearing makeup? It's like, what, 5.5 days a week do I freak out? I'm hardly ever wearing it when I'm doing the school run. I think when you come across those women who are never seen without makeup, the problem there is not makeup, the problem there is some kind of mental illness.
Well, exactly. And I mean, it would just be nice if you saw more people who were famous who just never wore makeup, or very rarely wore it. I mean, you wouldn't see, I can't think of any TV presenter who doesn't wear an enormous amount of makeup, apart from maybe Claire Balding. And Claire's very strident about her whole, she's very cleverly and brilliantly political about what she's doing, and she's always pointing out, look, I'm the only one doing this.
Yeah.
I'm the only one not on here with a stylist. I'm the only one on here not wearing makeup. I'm the only one here without, you know, hair extensions and stuff. And you know, it's a bit sad that in, you know, 2013 there is only one woman doing that and pointing out that, you know, that she's the only one doing it. So
yeah, I mean, the problem is not necessarily beauty, is it? It's that there's one ideal of beauty.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes.
It's the lack of variety, not the sort of principle of changing how you look. And
but whilst that's absolutely true, the problem is that there is an absolute lack of variety in what I wear in my makeup, and that's what I like about it. It is just the one look.
Yeah.
Shall I show you my one look?
Show me what's in your basket of makeup and show me what you do before you go out.
Because I quite like the idea of being able to now tell people how I do this incredibly simple. I mean, the world's most ridiculous non-expert makeup application of all time ever, with the cheapest products ever. So
I'm right in thinking this is like your going out look. When you're spaffing around, writing, going to school and stuff, you just look like this, right?
Yes. Yeah, no, I don't put on a full face of makeup to sit there on Twitter making jokes about cheese and wanting to have sex with Chevy Chase. So no, when I go out, and I've experimented for many years in doing something else, and all I ever do is I wear an enormous amount of black eyeliner with a dark eye, with a colourful eyeshadow on top of that.
Yeah.
I cover up whatever acne that I've got, and I make my eyebrows slightly darker, and that's it. So I can do the whole lot in under 3 minutes.
I'd like to come back to your acne later, actually, when you've put your face on. Take me through it, do
Yes.
What do you do?
First of all, I have a sip of Carver. That's the important thing to do. I've tried loads of different, and we'll be going back to the acne in a bit, I've tried loads of different foundations and stuff over the years, and this is the one that I found to be best, which I think, as with everything in my basket, is usually something that you've recommended in your column. So I seem to remember you probably recommended that.
This Lumiac was lovely.
Yes.
And perfect if you have acne because it's water-based.
Yes. So, I mean, I don't bother. I mean, you're probably supposed to use primers and stuff, are you?
I like a primer, but certainly not every time.
And what important safety tips that I found over the years is always wipe your fingers on your tights first before you start putting foundation on, because you might have residue on them. And very many times I've given myself an immediate tiger stripy face by having something on my fingers. So that's the first bit. Always wipe your hands on your legs.
Don't chop chilies.
No. Secondly, and I can do this just sitting down, I don't even need to look in the mirror because you can just feel it. I can see you wincing now going, why aren't you using a brush in the mirror? Why are you sitting on the toilet rubbing in a foundation like a moisturiser?
I always applied her lipstick without a mirror, and she said, darling, my lips have been in the same place for 67 years, they're not about to move now.
Well, this is the thing, you know where it is, and I know that the bits that I'll have to very carefully blend are in the moustache area here. I'll wipe that off in a minute because I just can't be bothered to wax these days.
Can I not get you a mirror, please?
I will stand up in a minute, don't worry, it's not going to stay this way, we'll stand and look in a minute. Are you feeling a bit twitchy?
Bit twitchy. Bit itchy.
She's twitchy, I'm looking no, that's fine, that's fairly even.
So this is in number 10, beige, this foundation. So you are white.
Yes.
Now,
I have no pigment at all.
One of the reasons I love Caitlin is she's one of my only friends who's as white as I am and who chooses to stay that white just as I do.
Yes, no, in fact I would do anything to go even paler if I can, which is why I like to darken the eyebrow.
You make no attempt to tan, do you, or any of that argy-bargy?
It just doesn't happen, love. No. I just go into an immediate prickly rash. That's all that happens when I go out. Now look at that, that's perfectly blended.
Yeah, no, it's looking
apart from that moustachey bit there, which I'll talk about later. And then eyebrows go a bit darker. For many years I used a brush and some powder, but now I've just got
Your brows are really good, I always think.
Thank you.
They're a really good shape.
I'm quite happy with them.
Yeah, they're really good.
One of the first things my husband complimented me on was my eyebrows, and now at the age of 37 I see what a sophisticated piece of praise that is. But at the age of 17 you're like, my eyebrows? You sound like a pervert. What about my tits?
No, I'm quite partial to my own eyebrows, you see, so I really recognise them in other people. If a good pair of brows will see through all sorts, Caitlin.
Yeah, have you ever used those brows? You see those brow stencils? I've always been tempted to see if I could try another shape. I mean, this for me is the nearest I can get to an Elizabeth
Taylor. But they're a really
Taylor.
good shape, you don't need to...
It'd be quite interesting to see if any other shapes work.
So you're using a bourgeois pencil there. Is that a favourite, or do you just grab any old thing?
It was what was in the chemist. It was... I'm not really... I mean, there's things that you will specifically recommend that I'll go and get, but generally it's just whatever's in the chemist as I have to run in and out in under a minute. And then again, wiping with the fingers. So that's kind of eyebrows. And then, just an enormous amount. Now, this is my favourite eyeshadow at the moment. That was from H&M.
That's lovely.
That was $2.99.
I have seen you in this shadow and you work it.
Yeah, I thought that once. A professional makeup artist once complimented me on that and went, I wouldn't even know where to get a colour like that now. Now, the one thing that I've learned over the years, again, is I mean, I'm not very, as you notice, I'm not very brushy. So far, no brush.
I'm getting that.
It's the sensual pleasure of makeup on your fingers and face. So again, I do go fingery on this because you can really press it in. Because if you spill it onto your face, you can just wipe it off with a cotton bud in a minute. And so there's one.
So you do one bright colour.
Yeah. And then later on, when you are... Sometimes I do them for different days of the week or different occasions, so that when I'm very, very drunk in the pub, I can look in the mirror and go, okay, you're wearing blue eyeshadow. You told yourself you were going to wear that for the engagement party. That's where you are now. It's blue for the engagement party. You can use it as a way of, when you go back through photographs afterwards, of working out where you were at the time.
This Bobby Brown navy's well worn, so
that's
you like a dark, don't you?
Yes.
As well?
Well, I like blues. There's that thing,
Yeah,
if you've got blue eyes,
good.
you're not supposed to wear blue eyeshadows, but I like to confound expectation.
Oh no, I love blue.
And then, again, I go whenever I do photo shoots, I always say, with the eyeliner, just think Winehouse and keep going. And they never quite believe me, but I like to have at least 1 centimetre on either side.
You love Rimmel, don't you?
Yes. Is there anything better?
You're doing that very well, love.
Thank God, it's 20 solid years.
Yeah.
Can I just draw attention to the fact that our cameraman Nat is being really quite brutally physically assaulted by an enormously fat cat. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to remove the cat. That's a massive cat.
It's Nat v Cat. It's an oh look. The cat is now hanging on to Nat. Are you okay now?
I'm great.
Did she spear a testicle there?
There's a little bit of blood spilt, but I think
I'm
it's
so
gonna be okay.
sorry. At least 1 centimetre really, sticking out on the other side.
So you start with the flick on the outside and then you go in.
Yeah.
You're doing that very well. Flicky black eyeliner is the thing that I'm asked most often to show people how to do it. People really struggle with it, but you've got it down.
I myself was terrified by it when I first did it. When I first started working at Melody Maker, there was one other goth girl there called Holly Berenger, and she had perfect flicky black eyeliner. And I literally couldn't believe that you could do it without having a nurse or having to go to a beauty salon. And she just showed me how to do it. Because I just thought you would poke yourself in the eye, or that you would go blind, or that it was in some way dangerous. But the thing is, you can kind of feel where your eye is. You know, you kind of know when you're approaching an area that might lead to macular degeneration if you poke it with a little brush. So, and then you can see here, because I've very casually applied my eyeshadow, it's kind of all over the shop, to use a technical expression. So if you just get a cotton bud and some eye makeup remover, you can just dab it off. And this means that you never have to use brushes. And that's, you just clear it up as you go along. And then, my latest thing that I've learned recently is, and it's amazing where you'll learn your beauty techniques, and again, I'm just wiping on the side there to get rid of the...
This is why opaque's wrong.
There's 3 or 4 days worth of build-up on there.
Yeah.
Was an interview with Kelly Brook, whose beauty regime tips I always like to note in celebrity magazines, because she does, to be fair, look amazing.
Yeah, beautiful woman.
And she was going, I use the cat's whisker technique.
I know the technique well, show us.
Which is, you use, oh, where's it gone?
You want a highlighting pen, don't
Yes,
you?
I've got one, oh, there it is, that one.
Touche
Yeah, so watch it, I've lost my touche clat, so there's this other one here.
This is the one I use, it's the best one.
I probably bought it because you recommended it.
It's the best.
You can probably go through that basket going, yes, 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 I recommended that, that's what I've, that's...
This is the best.
So, yeah, so Kelly Brook was going, I use the cat's whisker thing, which is that you just paint on, like Miffy, there, and it's sort of, so you do it there, like that. And then I have also been doing it on my chin, because that seems to work quite well. And it just means that you just have light there, and it just seems to make everything a bit better. And then also I do under the eyes as well, because in an hour's time they will be covered in black eyeliner. Oh, wipe the hands. Ba-da-ba-da. And then that is pretty much me going out, really. I've got some like facey kind of coloury things.
That mascara?
Oh, I don't really bother. Because it just gets so boring. It just...
The lashes are quite long.
And also, I think if you've got that much eyeliner on, do you need to do any more in the eye area?
It's still doing the lily.
And also, I quite like the fact that that the eyelashes are kind of soft and still furry and not sticky and hard. So, So, and then sometimes I put like there's this thing. What did I get? It's a Bobby Brown thing that's got loads of colours on it.
Shimmer brick.
That I've just been doing a bit of that with every so
Lovely.
often. And then...
See, to me that brings it all together. Love.
And then I've got a pink thing. There's this one here. Right, now I think this wins the award for my skankiest piece of makeup.
That's disgusting.
Look at that.
You're making me and baby Jesus cry with that blush.
Look at that, look at that. The worst contact lens in the world. But it's a very nice colour. It's a very good colour. And so I just will scrape whatever tiny piece I can find in that absolutely ruined box and just do a bit there and there.
Nice.
And that's me ready to go. And that gives me that kind of already slightly alcoholic blush, like I've already had 2 drinks. And that's and then put that back into my sticky pink porthole.
No euphemism.
No, and that's literally all. Apart from the 2 or 3 different eyeshadows I use, but that is it.
So you're nipping into the loo every now and then when you're out and just doing that, presumably, just scraping out whatever's fallen down.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's just in the corners of the eyes, just a horrible kind of black snot will. And I'm a bugger for it. It will be there for days. And there have been. I notice if I go to festivals, which is where I wear the most amount of makeup. There have been times where I've put on so much eyeliner and then reapplied it throughout the day that I will be blowing my nose and black eyeliner will come out, which is quite incredible.
Oh,
that's when you know. I always know that I'm a festival.
There's nothing to do with festivals except just keep putting it on.
Yes.
You just have to keep layering it on.
Like a waterproof kind of thing. You just keep waterproofing your face with an enormous amount of makeup.
More and more and more. If you try and take it off, it all comes apart. Everything falls off.
No, you'll suddenly get massive acne as well if you do that. Yeah, no. You are bound together by whatever you've got in your makeup bag at a festival.
So when you're at home, if you've been out to a party, are you taking this off before you go to bed?
Yes, I always do that.
You're good, aren't you?
Yes.
I always see that you do that. Whenever I've been here, you take it all off.
Well, because I've had such terrible skin in the past that I just fear. The 2 things that I fear most in the world, apart from my children dying and going insane, are 1, getting cystitis again, and 2, getting acne again. And so I do everything that I can in my power to prevent those 2 things.
Tell me about your acne. How has that come about and when did it happen?
When I was a teenager, I had polycystic ovaries. I was very overweight, and that was for me what triggered polycystic ovaries. It can be different for different people. And when I finally lost all the weight, the polycystic ovaries cleared up, which was amazing. But my skin still stayed really, really bad, and it continued to be really bad until about a year ago, when my brothers and sisters came round, and they've got this book by, and I've got a name here on the laptop because I can never remember people's names. They got this book out of the library, apparently it's not in print anymore. Leslie Bauman, MD, The Skin Type Solution.
Okay.
And she got that, they got it at the library and they photocopied all the relevant pages. And
bless them.
I know. Well, we all, as a family, we have differently problematic skin, and you just do this massive test that tells you what kind of skin type you've got. And apparently, I had the same skin type as Robert Redford, which is just you burn, you show your age very quickly. You're very prone to, it's very sensitive, and they were just explaining what it is that you are allergic to these particular ingredients. So whenever you're buying a product, make sure that there are none of these particular ingredients in what you're
what are
using.
You allergic to?
It was parabens and anything with sort of any kind of alcohols and stuff. And I would always have at least sort of 5 or 6 spots on the go at any one time. And I could always cover them up with makeup, but it's just annoying and they hurt. I mean, people don't talk about the fact that you catch a bit of acne. That really hurts, it's quite painful.
But your skin's really clear now, so what are you doing? Talk me through your routine.
I've got, the great thing is that she doesn't just recommend one product, she always lists them kind of in sort of ascending order of price.
Okay.
So there's the cheapest possible things and they're going all the way up to the most expensive. So depending on how flush I feel, I always get the most expensive or the cheapest things. So that's quite an expensive one, that's a Darfan face wash.
Yeah, Darfan's great.
Which, then that's the face wash. And then everything else is really cheap. It's Olay... Regenerist serum and Olay anti-wrinkle daily moisture fluid because you don't get spots there. You can use any kind of under eye cream and
you've got an SPF in here.
Yes, I use the biggest SPF I can ever find because I just burn in a second. And you can just use any under eye cream. So I just found that somewhere. I don't even know what that is. I think someone gave it me.
L'Occitane by the looks of it. Yeah, L'Occitane Immortelle.
So that's it. So it's an enormously. And then the other thing I use is because when my friend Lauren Laverne went last time I went to her house, just kind of in a moment of drunken evangelism, went, "You've got to get one of these. They're amazing."
Lauren is devoted to her Clarisonic.
And Lauren has no pores.
Yeah.
I mean, she has. It's just like a beautiful piece of vellum. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get that. And at the time, I think someone had recommended, some kind of magazine had voted it the most popular beauty product between beauty editors in Britain. So there was a waiting list for it, which was enormously boring. And it meant that I had to get one in purple, which I wouldn't normally do.
It's great, the Clarisonic, especially if you have problem skin. I mean, I love mine, but I don't need to use it all the time because I've got quite dry skin. But if you have kind of problematic skin, they're amazing.
I mean, there were times...
Are you squirting a blob of face wash on that?
No, I'm not even bothering. No, I'm just doing it dry when I'm in bed. I mean, there are many times where I've used it where I've just thought I could just simply have used my electric toothbrush on my face.
No,
would that have been the same thing?
No,
yes.
it's a sonic toothbrush for your face.
Yes.
It's exactly what it is.
Yes.
And in fact, it was invented by
someone with really big teeth.
No, it was
for a
invented
horse.
by somebody who helped invent Sonica.
Oh, really?
Yes.
There you
It's
go.
effectively the same product.
They just simply shifted the patent to a larger
because
brush.
it gives you a really kind of deep clean and gets rid of all your kind of impurities, but it's not harsh, it's not damaging.
You can feel it like you know, when you get that kind of dirty kind of, I have a furrow of filth here and here on each side of my face, and you just kind of stick that in there and it cleans it up.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, it's a ridiculously decadent thing that you can't just scrub your own face with a flannel. But on the other hand, you know, what isn't to like about having another vibrating object in your house?
Exactly. You can never have too many vibrating objects. Never. And then you're doing that morning and night, yeah?
No, I think you're only supposed to use that once a day. But I mean, to be honest, I didn't read her.
That you've talked me through.
Yes.
You're doing that twice a day.
Yes, yeah. No, I always do facey washy things because I fear the acne coming back so much. I mean, there was a point kind of when I had 2 children, and I was 35, and I was sort of just looking at sort of crow's eyes. Crow's eyes? I did have the eyes of a crow because I was wearing a lot of eyeliner and my face was completely black.
Crow's eyes.
And crows.
Terrifying, like murderous crow eyes.
It's like Alfred Hitchcock, but worse. So I had my Hitchcock face problem, and but I was also getting acne. And you're like, this is a really bad 2 for 1.
End of day.
This is the worst bog off ever.
Yeah.
And so that book came into my life at exactly the right time. So now I just absolutely stick to that regime because I just don't want it to come back again.
It looks great.